Along the tropical coast and out to sea lurks another deadly box jellyfish, 1,000 times smaller than the big coronex, yet it packs a punch so powerful the victims end up in intensive care and believe they will die. It's called an irukandji.
I was hit on the chest by 4.
4 of them?
Yes, excruciating pain. I did stop breathing several times. It was just easier not to try and breathe because it felt like I was paralysed.
And were you in intensive care?
Yes, intravenous Valium in hospital.
Wow. And they're only tiny, you know?
Tiny, you can't see them.
2 centimetres, not even that, 1 centimetre across. Amazing.
Amazing something so small can inflict so much pain.
Well, I can't remember ever being in that much pain. We arrived at our first site, which is about 30 nautical miles northeast of here, on the outer reef. I was in there for about 10 minutes snorkeling around, and I felt just a little irritation underneath the mask, just on my cheek. And not really that painful, just a bit prickly sort of feeling. Not as bad as, let's say, a blue bottle sting. And then I got back on board, and I asked one of the crew members, Lee, I said, can you see something there? She said, oh, look, it's slightly raised little bump, you big wuss, she said. I said, fair enough, so that was okay. And then I noticed pain in my lower back, either side. I don't normally get back pain. It shifted. I had incredible cramps, shifting all around my back, my stomach. I couldn't get comfortable. I was in intense pain, and also I had nausea on top of that. I had the feeling I had to throw up, but there was nothing to throw up.
I saw you when they brought you back in here in the marina, and you were a mess. Your face was all swollen up, you were red, your tears were running down your face. I mean, you must have felt as if you were going to die then.
They gave me pethidine straight away, and that was the first bit of relief. That was, you know, you just need massive painkillers just to slow everything down. And by the time I got to hospital, they hooked me up to the old heart machine there, and my heart was racing, really racing. And I figured later, if I had been someone with a weak heart, it could have been worse.
Did you feel as if you're going to die?
Well, I certainly felt as though I didn't want to live.
All swimmers in the far north are at risk, whether scuba diving on the offshore reefs or swimming in the protective stinger nets. These tiny creatures easily swim through the mesh and join the unsuspecting bathers. Most irukandji stings occur here. Marine biologist Russell Hoare is searching for the elusive irukandji. In the first 2 months of this year, the creature has already put 15 victims into intensive care.
It's up and running now.
You got stung pretty badly by an irukandji, didn't you?
Yeah, about 4 years ago I got a fairly nasty sting just after Christmas, and that was my inspiration to get involved with some of the research to find out a little bit more about them. At the moment there's very little known about them at all, especially in terms of life history and things like that.
Well, I've never seen one. I mean, I've seen thousands of box jellyfish, but never an irukandji. You know, they're so tiny.
Very few people have actually ever seen a live one. Very few people have seen a dead one. The world collection stands at less than 100.
This is your favourite place?
This is the place where history tells us that most stings have occurred. Unfortunately, that's about the only good information that we can use to try and be down there to target them.
Are you catching many here?
Not so much this year. No, we haven't got to, but the conditions are just starting to come right today, so we're especially hopeful for today.
This thing is no bigger than a thumbnail, and yet it packs such a wallop. I mean, imagine if it grew the size of coronex.
I'll just drop this net down itself, keep it upright. Generally, if we get something, due to the aggravation and being in the net and whatever else, they'll usually be fairly active. They'll be pumping across the surface of the water. And we have got a jellyfish here, but it's not what we're after.
No, not the one.
Some of the very common jellyfish that we get up here.
The one there. I saw another one in there. This one here.
It's got blood spot.
Are we going to do another drag?
Yes, it's
looks like it. I believe you had a lot of stings here, mates.
Yes, there were 7 suspected stings in this beach alone on Sunday afternoon, and 2 more reported stings at Mission Beach and Port Douglas yesterday as well.
All irukandji?
Suspected as all being irukandji at this stage, yes.
It's not stinging? Very good.
We know almost nothing about the life cycle of the irukandji, except for its distressing symptoms. These have a characteristic time delay of some 30 minutes. The sting barely hurts at first. You may even ignore it until the pain erupts and you think you will die.
Oh, yeah, we've got a fair few things in there.
Yeah, I can see them.
Let's get them in the jars and have a closer look.
Okay.
There, what's that at the top there? Just move across.
All right, yeah, 4 tentacles.
That's the one.
Yeah. Hey, that's it.
That's what they do.
After all this time, there it is. Look, it's so tiny, Russell, so tiny it's hard to imagine that that's probably the most deadliest creature on Earth. Oh, well, congratulations, finally got one.
All right.
Peter, how many people a year would get stung by the irukandji?
Well, it does vary an awful lot, maybe say only 20 some years and up to 200 another. It varies from season to season.
200 in 1 year?
Yes, there's even been up to 50 on one day at one time, which caused a bit of havoc in the local hospital.
And most of those end up in intensive care?
No, not all of them. Some are just treated in the casualty unit. The symptoms are kind of severe, but not too bad. But others need to be admitted into the hospital, and some need treatment in intensive care, and there's been an increasing number this year.
We're just monitoring your pulse. Your heart's beating 96, so it is quite elevated, and we'll keep monitoring you for some time yet, please.
Oh, I've got goosebumps there.
Hey, it's 20 minutes since you've come out of the water. It is definitely a sign of a possible one of our jellyfish stings. How are you feeling elsewhere in your body? You got any other problems?
I'm feeling a bit sick, actually, and a bit of a sore back. And
I'm going to call the ambulance immediately. It'll be about 8 minutes before they get here. Okay, but please relax. Okay, stay calm. Okay.
Check electrodes.
Peter, this little irukandji, I mean, it's no bigger than my fingernail, and yet it packs this incredible punch. I mean, it's got to be one of the world's deadliest creatures.
Well, you'd have to say that. I mean, Chironix has always been acknowledged as the most deadly creature in the world.
Yeah.
But Chironix may be up to 30 centimetres in width. This is only, say, 2 centimetres in width, and it can prostrate an adult, a fit adult, for up to 8 days in intensive care. So, yes, it's very, very venomous for its size.
Port Bradshaw is in a remote part of Arnhem Land. Ben and Jamie come here in search of the big and dangerous Chironix fleckeri. It's a scenic place that belies the danger lurking here. Michelle Mason is helping Jamie. Lycra suits are a must.
Yeah, it's definitely a fleckeri. If you have a look at the difference between the two, the fleckeri's got this big wicked spur on this inner canal here, and the quaddies that we're getting at Southern Four Mile have got almost a right angle on there.
Right.
These things got these really wicked looking spur on it. There's another one. Ooh, it's another big one.
Oh,
Good grief.
nearly tread on it, Jamie.
No, thank you. Absolutely. Amazing. All the things like rubber gloves on the inside, they're all the gonads. Stunning animal. We'll put him back again.
Jamie and Ben drag the deeper water where it's hard to see the animals. A lurking crocodile is more on their mind.
I'll keep an eye out for crocs.
Big jelly.
Oh, yeah. Aha!
Beautiful.
That's the sort of one that can kill you. Pity most of his tentacles have been lost in the net, isn't it? But it just shows you that they're here.
Yeah,